friend. Thank you so much for coming here tonight. I've always lived my whole life by if there's a will, there's a way. I ended up seeing these three heroes. I ended up seeing some interviews, and that's what really got me motivated to start the New Hampshire Voter Integrity Group. The things that we've accomplished so far is amazing. In 24 hours, not even 24 hours, we were able to have another opportunity to get Joe on. I think the most important thing that we need to do is Monday. This is the next call to action, Monday at the Windham High School, 7 p.m. We need to show up there and we need to spread the word. I'm very, humble to be able to present to you Ken Eyring, Senator Guida, and Dr. Strain. These guys motivate me every single day. And now I'm gonna call the first presenter, Dr. David Strain.
Like you, I woke up the morning of November 4th, Wednesday, the day after Election Day, and said, what the very important election anomaly that we have. I thought I would do state delegation, and we couldn't elect a single Republican to Washington, D.C. That's right. That makes no sense.
Absolutely.
We flipped our House from Democrat to Republican. We flipped our Senate from Democrat to Republican. We were the only one of 50 states that did that, by the way. People don't vote for declaratively Republican conservative government and then say, but the Democrats are doing such a great job in D.C., let's send them all back. So right away, I knew something wasn't right. When I heard about the Windham anomaly, that's going to become one of those I remember where I was when I heard moments. But in the town of Windham, there were 4 races in the New Hampshire House of Representatives on the ballot. Republicans won all 4, but a Democrat came within 24 votes of 10,006 cast, so she asked for a recount. Perfectly acceptable. 24 out of 10,006 is not much. In New Hampshire, we don't do machine recounts. We only do hand recounts. So the hand recount showed all 4 winning Republicans gained almost 300 votes apiece. And the Democrat who challenged lost 99 votes, or 2.2% of her original total. The 4 Republicans gained over 6% of their original total. We have never seen a shift of that magnitude in the history of our state's elections. But losing 99 and gaining 300 is not background noise. That's something wrong, particularly when all of the gainers are in one party and the one who lost is in the other party. Really makes you go, something seems off here. They confirmed the outcome, but they asked the Attorney General to investigate. No response. The attorney for the town of Windham, Bernard Campbell, wrote a letter to the Attorney General on November 19th asking for an investigation. No response. And Secretary of State Gardner wasn't terribly concerned. He said, well, it didn't change the outcome of the election. And Senator Gray backed him up on that. And I said, that's it, gentlemen? That's the end of your curiosity? I mean, if a candidate loses a race by 2% and they come to you and say, how do you know I didn't win by 4%? How do you answer them? The answer is you can't, because you don't know what happened in Windham, and what's even more unacceptable is you didn't have the curiosity to look. So after 2.5 hours, finally, Secretary of State Gardner said, okay, we need to look into this. I want to know what happened. And what happened after that? So Senator Guida said, I want you to write a letter to the Attorney General and outline all the facts that you have. And I sat down and I wrote a 9-page letter complete with graphs, statistics, saying, this must be looked at. And I got the same response that the town attorney got, that the Ballot Law Commission. My letter was ignored. So, Senator Guida, and thank God for this man, because we did not... So, Senator Guida and I met with Attorney General McDonald on Monday, January 4th, And he said, I have no authority to investigate. And we said, yes, you do. It's right here in the state laws. Our state laws are called RSAs. It stands for Revised Statutes Annotated, but it's our abbreviation for state law. If you want to look it up later, it's 7:6-C, which says the Attorney General can look into irregularities to make sure that there has been no violation of election law. And his response was, well, I don't have any proof of a crime. Well, you don't need proof to investigate. You won't know if there was a crime unless you investigate. And so we reconvened with them 2 days later, January 6th, and they indicated that they were going to ask for documents from Windham. It was basically a paper shuffle, but they weren't going to investigate. Senator Guida had a follow-up conversation with them and said, if you don't think you have the authority to investigate, get it. Go to court. Or did you sleep through that class? And they said that they weren't going to go to court. So at that point, we realized we had unwilling participants when it came to looking at the largest discrepancy in the history of New Hampshire elections. And thank God for Senator Guida. He introduced Senate Bill 43.
And now I get to introduce my hero, Ken Eyring, and, Woo!
No, I don't. God deserves it. Is this thing on? God deserves it. God has told me what to do, how to do it, when to say it, what to say. I take no credit for this. Undeniable, irrefutable. We had a huge discrepancy between November 3rd and November 12th. And we had state government who wasn't interested at all in investigating. There's another person in this room that deserves your applause, who doesn't get the recognition. I worked hours with him, many, many hours. And when I wasn't working with him, I was working with these gentlemen over here. And when I wasn't working with them, I was writing for the Granite Rock. I wasn't doing that. I was talking with people and trying to get them educated and motivated to help. And a lot of you reached out, stood up, stepped up, got out of your comfort zones, and you made a big difference. And that's really why we're here as well. But I do want to give some credit to Tom Murray, because thank you. I appreciate your appreciation of Tom, because he's a great guy.
Yes, he is.
He puts his business on hold many, many days in order to do this, because it's so important to our state and to our country. People have been saying this is a Windham issue, and I disagree with that, respectfully. I have been put in a position that I feel very blessed to be in.
Amen.
So one of the selectmen, Bruce Breton, he issued a press release yesterday saying he's going to ask that there be a motion for reconsideration. So that decision is completely up to the selectmen. And Bruce Breton can't make that motion because he's on the losing side of the vote. Okay, with Robert's Rules of Order, you have to be on the majority side of the vote to ask for a motion to reconsider. But there are a couple people who could do that, so we'll see what happens on Monday, and if that happens, it happens. If it doesn't, then we'll move on, and we'll see what happens with the pick that the AG and the Secretary of State jointly make. So I think I've said my piece. I think the real reason you guys are here are to listen to Senator Guida. He is one of the most eloquent speakers I've ever heard. He's one of the most passionate people I've ever heard. And I really hope this man decides to continue to serve us in this great state of New Hampshire. And I would And I would even support him in any office he may seek. And with that, and with love, I'm going to introduce Senator Guida.
I am your senator for the people in District 2 and for the people of the state. Okay? But I can't do my job unless you do your job. And you are doing your job. You are the watchdogs. Okay? You are the ones who elect the people that go to Concord and Washington. You are the ones that must hold them accountable. You must do so responsibly. You must do so accurately. You must do so with resolve. I urge you to do so respectfully. That's part of who we are. We're not Antifa. We're not Black Lives Matter. We are lawful dissidents over a voting anomaly at this point that remains unexplained. I was chagrined. I was dismayed. I was extremely disappointed that the Attorney General chose not to enforce the law. And it's very clearly written in RSA 7:6C. 423 other legislators elected to this state, whose most solemn obligation is to protect your vote and its sanctity, do nothing and disparage what I was trying to do, what Dave and Kem are trying to do. Okay? I'm a Marine. Fixed bayonets, we charged, we took the hill. Took a lot of work right there, right here. But we're not done. Okay, to get this done right, okay, understand, I've gotten hundreds of emails. I'm sure I saw emails go out to every legislator in the state. That's okay, but we can't effectuate what happens in Windham. We've done our part to deliver the law. Now, Windham has to do its thing. So I would say direct your constructive, critical energies towards Windham, not towards the state legislature, because we're done. Okay, 24-0, as they said, out of the Senate, over to the House, 20-0 out of the House committee, unanimous consent vote on the floor of the House, back to the Senate for the concurrence, 24-0 done. That doesn't happen ever. It happened. We believe what's important. You are the reason that it will happen. I look to you and I say, from the rabble grew a nation, and to this rabble is the ability and the necessity of sustaining the freedoms for which so many of us, veterans in here, stand up. The single most important thing in our nation is the sanctity of the vote and the integrity of the election process. And you are making a difference. These gentlemen started the shot heard around the world, and literally around the world, and it's up to us to finish it lawfully, respectfully, but with certainty, with absolute certainty that we are doing it right. I was with Bill Gardner this afternoon. I've been constantly in touch with he and John Formell, the new Attorney General, because I've stayed out of the picture for a reason. All right? I've done my part. You're doing your part. My job now as a senator is to try to shepherd this thing so we get it across the goal line. We want to score the touchdown the right way, with the right information, and discover what happened. It's not about who is right. It's about what is right. What happened.